1 kilometer. I think they dumb them down specifically. Law enforcement and other agencies can probably get more accurate readings on you, but they just give you to the nearest cell, which is about 1 kilometer. But obviously, once you're within that range, as we've already demonstrated with the right antenna on your dongle, we can then narrow it right down and find you. So, incidentally, anyone who's interested in playing with those range things, the 1 mile is actually a limitation not of the antenna, but of the protocol. At that point, the propagation delays become such that the protocol breaks down. So you can't, there's no point in playing with bigger and bigger antennas. It's unlikely you'll be able to extend that range beyond 1 mile, unless, of course, you modify your firmware to do some interesting things. So if anyone's thinking about doing that, we have some plans that we could talk about. So. Okay, so the other cool thing I've been playing with is this. How many of you have seen one of these? Yeah, so Martin had a nice portable device for auditing phones with. So I thought I ought to have one too. And Nokia launched this, and this is really cool because it's, well, A, it's a Nokia and it's not a phone, which is kind of weird. So it's only a PDA. But what they did was they've put an open source implementation on there. So it's running Linux. And unlike a lot of devices where they're using Linux, but they're not actually embracing the whole open source concept, they're just using it as a platform. In this case, Nokia have actually gone out to the open source community and said, okay, here's a platform, develop stuff for it, here's the development environment, here's some resources. They even actually gave them out cheap to open source developers. So if you went along and said, hey, I'm an open source developer, they would give you one for like 1/5 of the normal price, which was really cool. So nice one, Nokia. And because it's running an open source Linux distribution, then we can just pretty much cross-compile anything we want. So I've been porting all of our various tools. I'm not going to actually try and demonstrate it because it would be pretty dull, so I've got some screenshots. And so basically we've got all the standard tools, HCI tool scan. So this is me scanning some phones earlier on. I'm sorry?
Yeah, just remember the address.
Oh, this one, yeah. So I have a script because it's a real pain in the ass to try and do all this. You've only got the touch screen and a pop-up keyboard. So I've written a wrapper script for some of the tools which you can download from the trifinite.org site, which basically does the, this one does the Bluebug audit. So it'll scan the area and ask if you want to connect to any of these phones. So in this case, I've said yes to connect to the 6310i, and I've got a connected, and I can then actually issue AT commands and dial. And read the phone book. You might want to make a note of that number.
Yeah,
is that real,
it's been set by Bluver. It's a real number of George W. Bush, since there's a lot of people who want to call him a lot of things.
Give him a ring now.
Yeah, it's in Texas somewhere. You probably won't understand a word.
Yeah, so it's a really cool toy. I recommend you get one. Everything, pretty much everything that we've tried just compiles and runs. So I've got Gnocchi running on it. I've got pretty much all of Marcel's tools. And this next thing we're going to look at, most of what runs on here will be able to run on there, we expect. So we'll have a nice portable auditing device. So Bluenix is our free distribution for auditing Bluetooth devices. It's a Linux live CD. It's running on a 2.6 kernel. It contains the standard BlueZ distribution plus dedicated auditing tools. So this is designed to be a proper auditing tool. It's not a hacker toolkit. You know, it doesn't give you the raw data. What it does is it tests for specific vulnerabilities. So for each vulnerability we identify, we will write a tool that runs on this, and it generates machine-readable output, so you can feed that into databases, you can write front ends for it, and so on. We will be distributing it for free. There'll be an ISO that you can download. Probably there'll be a commercial license. If you're a big company that makes gazillions of dollars from selling this stuff and testing it and trying to make it secure, then we'll probably want you to pay us. But if it's for you guys, because we love you, you can have it for free. So maybe the guys with the video switch can switch to this laptop. Oh, hang on. Wrong desktop. So that's the desktop you get. And basically, you've got a bunch of tools on here that all start blue something, so you can just tab. It's nice and readable. So we can say, is this one of yours by any chance?
Sorry?
Sorry? The Airbus?
Yeah, but it won't make any.
Okay, let's get some more details about one of these. So, where's the Airbus?
Why not the new Airbus?
Well, I'll let Marcel talk more about this because he wrote these tools. So.
There's some funny thing with some devices. I spoke about the SDP record database, and normally the SDP database is public and you see what you get. So this device supports this and this services. The funny thing is it's possible to hide entries in this database. And this basically I think looks really normal. So it does some weird things. What you see, the hex numbers are basically record handles. They start all with hex 10,000 if they read the specification. Some people don't, and then they start with 0. In this case you see actually 5 services, and basically that's it. So we have to find another device. Try one of the, or try even mine, that's more funny. Okay, I let Adam type in the BD address of my Nokia 6310. And the funny thing is, the Nokia device, or many of the Nokia devices have hidden entries, and the funny thing is you normally don't get them. But as you may be seen in this case, the record handles start with hex 10,000, hex 10,001, etc. So basically I came up, okay, let's brute force it. Okay, it's a 32-bit value, so it will take some time to brute force it all. But the good thing is they are playing nice all the time, and they start with hex 10,000, and then they end up with hex 10,100 or something. And so the Blue Info tool can brute force everything and make assumptions with already resolved results, and then get you some more information about the device. And if this is not working and you see up some funny things, okay, it looks normal, looks fine, and here we go. Oops. We have some, the funny thing is, it's all identified by an UUID, and basically these are special Nokia-based UUIDs. So this one is a PC suite, a very hidden secret for a long, long time by Nokia. So you connect to channel 14 and you get the special PC suite information, and so basically you are Nokia over Bluetooth. I still don't know what these two are, PSM 21505 and PSM 22529. I still assume one of the services capable of upgrading the firmware over Bluetooth. I still haven't reverse engineered yet. So maybe it's fun to get one of their tools that do it over Bluetooth, over USB cable or serial cable, and try to run it, especially then on a serial cable, and push the data over one of these channels. The last one without a number is Nokia identification, and if you see this SDP record in a phone or whatever, then it's definitely a Nokia device. You see this in headsets, you see this in mobile phones and a lot of other devices, and they also check each other so they can activate special features, etc., and so on. The Sony 7AX don't have any special entries. The 750, okay, if you find it, give it a try. And there's, oh yeah. So someone found the blue bug attack and found Adam's phone. You can really drive people crazy. I did this once in an airport in Frankfurt, and I had to wait for my plane, and the guy sitting next to me had a Nokia 6310i. And the funny thing is, if you connect and then disconnect, the phone beeps. You can't switch it off. Even if the phone is on vibrate or on silence mode, it always beeps. So I ended up connecting, disconnect, connecting, disconnect, beep, reaches out of his pocket, connecting, disconnect, beep. Oh, it's fun.
But the funny thing is, this beep is so characteristic. You can tell it's a Nokia 6310i. It's very characteristic. Other phones also beep, but different.
It would be fun to find 10 in a place and beep all at the same time, but anyhow. You're checking oh, you're scanning again, and then we had that joke.
No, we have so much time left.
Oh.
Where's he gone? Bend over. Don't panic.
Press Ctrl C and wait some seconds.
Reset.
Of course, when you have the CD, you also need a Bluetooth dongle, but you can basically buy everyone on the market. So another important thing. Oh yeah, oh yeah, 750 is funny. It's really nice. As you see, they have a mouse and a keyboard that you can reuse. And they even have, oh, not this one. I saw another one that they say they can support the PAN area network, the personal area network profile, so they can really do TCP/IP directly or L2CAP. The funny thing is, the protocol stack supports it, but there's an application running that supports it. So you can connect and then you get an immediate disconnect. So if you're fast enough and have some fun with it, you can maybe exploit it, but we never tried that. Is it my phone or is it your phone? Then do a blue snuff. Okay. Basically, the machine-readable format is quite easy. It's basically in some kind of HTML, XML syntax, and you get the information there. And even a plain text description what this now doing. So basically, it waits for, okay, yeah, too many devices around. It basically searches first to find the device if it's really discoverable. Since it's an audit tool, so we won't want to bother those people either hiding it or playing other tricks, so it checks if it's discoverable. Okay, here we go. There's the audit, okay. And finally, we have a verdict, but the verdict in this case is unapplicable, so it's not testable. Let's try it again. Maybe I think there are too many devices around here, and sometimes they have some radio disturbance. Okay. Okay. See, fail, result fail, device is vulnerable. And the other state would pass, and then device is not vulnerable. So pick some other phone. Or the blue bug in this case, because the blue bug is not working on this Nokia. Sometimes they introduce the loopholes later on. In this case, non-vulnerable, result pass. So really easy machine parsable. So maybe switch into the temp directory. The funny thing with these tools is they generate the log files, besides displaying them on the screen. They generate a complete log file with timestamps. And they also generate an HCI dump, which I will talk about later, but basically we capture all the data that we are doing so we can really see what that tag was and what is going on. Basically, if you don't, there's a command line switch to change the file names, but in general it says uses the address of the target device, the timestamp, what attacker is doing, and then audit for the log file and snoop for the capture file. The snoop file is written in BT-snoop format and can be read by the Linux tool HCI dump or by the Frontline sniffer tool from Frontline. Oh, it's there.